Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hamburg Mobile Summit Live. This is the second year in a row that we are virtual, but we are still in Hamburg, even like this. So you can see the city behind my back, and I hope you're enjoying the sessions because they are amazing today with a great lineup of speakers. We are moving forward, and I'm happy to introduce you our next speaker, the CEO of CrazyLabs. Sagi, hey, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you based?
In Israel, in Tel Aviv.
I can feel the vibe, that like the summer vibe. Is it hot right now?
It's very hot, yes. And yesterday we got rid of all of the masks, so
Congratulations, guys. You are amazing. I mean, we all can learn from Israel, Hopefully that many countries will have this freedom very soon. Happy to see you here at the summit, and we are ready for your speech. We'd like to hear about the investment for young dev teams. Over to you.
okay. Hi. So my name is Sagi, as you introduced, and I'm the founder and CEO for CrazyLabs. So just that you know, CrazyLabs, really, real briefly. So we finished 2020 being the number 3 largest publisher in the world with around billion downloads, 200 million unique monthly active users, and we're working with the network of 350 developers worldwide, except what we develop in-house. So we both develop in-house a lot of games, but we also work with a lot of talented developers globally. We have two main lines of business. We call them labs because we are crazy labs. So we have a casual lab where we have hit games like Super Stylist, and we invest in a lot of new games. Some of them are in soft launch right now. Some of them will come later. And we have the hyper casual lab, and we also have what we call a secret lab and innovation lab, and this is open for pitch for many of our people in the company. If they have a great idea, then we don't only invest in others, we also invest internally. So this is just a little bit about us. The market is huge. There are 1,000 slides I could have picked. This looked the kind of simplest. Impressive numbers for gaming. Mobile is moving forward and becoming bigger and bigger, but gaming as a whole is a big industry and growing, and it's a business. It's not anymore playing games. It's a business with a lot of money, with giant companies, and with a lot of opportunities. And obviously, these opportunities are interesting for people who want to create their own companies and games. And then the question is, where do you start? How do you start? So I'm going to try and talk a little bit about that. So one is the opportunity. The opportunity is potentially anyone can try. I'll talk about it a little bit. It's not completely true, but anyone can try. I think one of the most important thing is it's fun. A lot of the people I meet with, either that want investment or they just are talking about games. They have passion for games. They're doing it not only because they want to work in it. They feel that this is what they want to do and what they want to think about, and they feel fun about it. The user base is growing as mobile became available for anyone. So anyone is a gamer, or maybe a small gamer. So this is why not all of them are playing RPG games, but all of them are doing something, and a lot of them are playing some sort of games. And there is also the opportunity for studios that are doing one thing, and we see it quite a lot, to experiment on other genres and kind of hone their skills doing additional things. So one thing that is always very true, and by the way, this is a kind of a slogan that I heard a lot of people are saying, but it's easier to say and much harder to do. We learned it internally. So we used to say all the time that you need to fail until you succeed, but then people take it very hard when they fail, when their project fails. So because they don't want it to fail. So while everyone understands that this is a slogan and it might be true, really putting it inside your processes and being able to make the decision when you declare something as something that has failed and you move on, it's really important. And it's very hard. So a lot of people are trying to, although they understand, maybe let's another chance, let's do something more. And I think this is one of the most critical and important thing for indie developers, to really know fast when something is not good and move on. You only need a single win. I mean, many companies, they just have one big success. Obviously, they're trying to make maybe a huge business out of it and do sequels and so on, but even one big hit can be enough in our industry. A big hit can be games that do tens or even hundreds or even billions of dollars. So this is something that is also important to remember. I think if you want to succeed, you should never stop trying, because if you really believe in your team and in your skills and in what you're doing, then don't stop. Another thing which is overlooked in many cases, when you fail, sometimes you build some small assets that can help you, because they might become your portfolio, and then they might generate a small amount of money for you that enables you to keep trying without requiring large amounts of funding. So look at failed opportunity also, if they can help you take the time until your big success. One I think also one important thing, and it's also from my personal experience, you need to also look at, so a lot of advice out there is how to which funding partners you want to choose, and it's important to see who you choose. But in many cases, it's we are the team, and these are the funders, but also a big part of your team, and you don't always know them quite well in the beginning, because sometimes you just know them for 6 months or a year. It's not a lot of time, and especially not with the stress and with failing a lot. So really try to understand who you're going to this venture with. In many cases, in most cases, it's more important than who you're going to get the funding from, if you're going to get the funding from. So then usually the question is what our investors are looking for, but I think before that is why not, where not to go. So because it's not automatic, okay, I have an idea, I have the team, let's go get money. So why do we need money? Is it the right time for us? Can we just now balance the valuation and how much money we need into something that fits, that we don't give too much from the company, that we can build something that can sustain later, and also that we have something of value that is worthwhile for someone to invest in us. Also looking at the investors, so it's not always worth just, anyone who can give us money, let's just take their money, because we're going, especially if we believe in what we're doing, and we're going to do it for the long term. So we want real partners that will be with us with the good times, with the bad times, with the failing and believing that the next prototype is the one that is going to happen. So we need to choose someone that is experienced, someone that is communicating with us very well, and the best is obviously someone who is very experienced as a gaming investor. And then we go back to what investors are looking for. So I said in 2 slides back that anyone can do it. So by the way, it's true, because there is this kind of gold rush mentality. So obviously the biggest success stories will be the ones of 3 students who met in school and they created the next billion-dollar game. And there will be one like this every era, or maybe not billion, but tens of millions. So and it fuels this kind of enthusiasm around it. But when I spoke to a lot of investors and investing ourselves, is we see kind of three different types if we try to separate it. So the very unexperienced, so undergraduates, graduates, people with not a lot of experience. And the best advice usually is go work for companies, gain experience, understand the ecosystem, the products, and also this tangible thing about product market fit. and then think about what you can do, how you can build something yourself. You have at the high end the ones that did it already or worked in these super successful companies, and they now formed their DNA, their understanding of the market and the product, and now they just want to and they go and they have an idea and the ability and the execution ability. And usually with this type of founding teams, you find bigger investments and bigger type of plays and games, and they get more patience from their investors into building also bigger gambles. And there you have the middle case of, okay, we have good experience in the team, but not like the third group, but we have a great idea and we think there is a great product market fit. So, and we need the money, we need to raise money. And I think in these cases where I see, or the people I spoke about, it's a lot about angel investments or early VC investments. And for these type of groups, it can be very effective. And this is where what the angel investors are looking for, and the smaller VCs. And this is where you need to be very accurate in then how you communicate with them, what you communicate about your product, why you think you're going to be successful. We're going to talk about it. So investors are looking a lot for this, especially angel investors in mid group with not too much experience. Well, too much experience, there is no such thing, but it's good, but then it goes into the bigger rounds. So angel investors in many cases will look for the raw talent with experience, with a great idea. And then also we look at a team that can really move fast. A lot of the people I spoke to, they're looking for teams who understand that they have 2 to 3 months on every attempt. It doesn't have to be a single attempt. It's not a single round that you have to fail or succeed, but you need to move fast from and release fast prototypes. So you need to be clear about your ability to measure KPIs. We're an industry where everything is measurable. With everything in KPIs, everything can be measurable and compared. So this is very important. And when you have data, show it and know how it looks compared to the market standard, especially in the segment that you're competing. So, and once you located these angels and that are relevant and the ones you want to address to, so you need to have a very clear and concise speech. By the way, I saw more than a few. I have the last slide is about some resources. So there are really good examples posted on how you want to form your pitch. Obviously, it's important that everything we spoke about. So who is your team, especially if you have experience also in bad times, not only in good times, why your experience is relevant, what is your mission statement. It's not only the one game, but what do you want to do, what you want to be successful in, the market and your product, and obviously the market product fit. And then also what is the opportunity that you want to share with the investors, what do you think, or what is the valuation, how much money you need, where it's going to get you as a company. So preparing for investor meeting is something very important. I think I see people on the edge, some over preparing to the level of stress, and some under preparing. You know, it will be okay. We are who we are. There is what there is, and all of these catchphrases. I think, like in many cases, the middle ground is okay. Know who the investors are, in what they invested. Try to read about them and understand what they're looking for, and then how to present what you want to present. Yeah, at the end, you have your slide deck, and you don't need to change it for each investor personally, but it's really important to understand who you're going to meet with and try and know in advance. So some good resources, obviously there are many more, but I saw recently a really good presentation on a template for how to address investors from one of the founders of the Game Fund. Play Ventures has a lot of resources. There is a blog and the website by Joachim, which I also spoke to yesterday preparing for this session. So it's very interesting with a lot of resources, but there is a lot of other things I didn't mention here. So go and find, there are a lot of resources. When we went 10 years ago to raise money, it was really difficult. There weren't many resources to even tell you how to build the pitch, but also a lot less believers in gaming as an industry. It looked like something which is a lot of people didn't know how to address that. So today the market is better. People understand the numbers. People see the great IPOs, the companies that are out there that are successful, the games which are doing great. So it's a really great era for game developers, but still you have to be accurate to be successful. So thank you, and if you have any questions, then happy to take them now.
Thank you very much, Sagi. That was very useful for developers that are looking for investments. I hope that it will help them to raise the money. The question for you, what do you think? Is it better to look for investment from the very beginning, or if you have an idea and have some money in the pockets, maybe it's better to start on your own funds?
You know, I know what I did. So I did the second. So I had an idea, I had some money, and then I said, okay, I'm going. I think it's a show of confidence as well. So when you put your actions and not so walk the walk, not only talk the talk. So if you have some money, and also it will be better for you for valuation perspective. But I think investors appreciate more where you also put some skin in the game. So they don't expect you to put all the skin in the game, but some skin in the game is always good.
So when do you think is the best time to approach investors? Like at which, should you already have like beta or maybe just a playable demo, or like what will be the best timing in your opinion? If you are an investor, like when do you like it most?
So you know, investors like most when they have the lowest risk. So so for them, come
Well,
with a
then
successful game, so it will be the best. But
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, don't invest in games then if you don't like risks.
yeah, but you would be amazed how many people you go to and they say, you know, not in that words, but when you translate, they just tell you, you know, when you have success, then come to us. When you have the KPIs, they are great, come to us. But yeah, I think it's better if you have something. So even if you prove the core mechanics, especially if you have some data about day one, so that's great. If you have a beta, that's even better. If you have a beta with the good KPIs, but if you have a beta with the bad KPIs, then now you need to work on your KPIs. So it's you really need to define, you know, how much money you have and to which stage you can reach, and then that you have enough time to raise money for your next stage. So because the worst thing is that you're not prepared, and then you will say, okay, I have a beta, but the numbers are not good because I didn't have enough money to do, I know, whatever UA or play testing, whatever. So think about it carefully to which stage you can reach at the good enough level.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. We have a question from our chat on Dublin Hub. Which categories would you currently be interested in reviewing? Like what types of games?
So personally, we are investing in, in hyper casual. It's our business to invest. So this is what we're doing with partners in publishing forums and all sorts. And we have all of these different ways in which we do publishing. Some of them are more investment, some of them are less. So this is whole world. You can go and check it on our website. On casual, we are looking for interesting investments on casual as well. And this is not as part as our publishing activities, but this is as a pure investment activities that we're looking into interesting teams and games, hybrid casual, that's a separate thing.
Okay. Speaking of hyper casual games, don't you think it's, too hot right now? Everyone is interested in hyper casual games. There are so many teams, there are so many publishers. Isn't it too late already to start making a hyper casual game, or it's still, still enough time for devs to reach success in this field?
So no, it's never too late. I think the market is consolidating more. It's getting much more sophisticated, but the core hyper casual game is a really simple game. and we see how many pitches we get. We get hundreds of pitches a month. So there is a lot of, and I think this is where I said everyone can do it. So in hyper casual, truly everyone can try and do the core mechanics, try, find a publisher, partner, publisher, fund something, not fund something. Again, the agreements can differ, but this is something that also can really hone your skills. So because it teaches you how to kill concepts really early, it teaches you on core mechanics, what is effective and what not. So I think this actually it's really good elementary school. It can be also your university, it depends on where you take it, but for sure for someone it can be a really good place to start and learn a lot of things. And if he finds the right partner, then he's not disadvantaged at where the market is.
Okay, that makes sense. We don't have much time for the questions, but just last one. You said that you get hundreds of pitches each month. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, give me a quick number. How many of those pitches actually get funded?
It's not about funding. Many of them we test. So we have some system, funnel. With some developers, we have some agreement based on different criteria for success, but we are working with a lot of developers, and we have a hubs program. Our hubs are a place where people come, they learn how to do hyper casual, and they get funded again to some extent. We have hubs in India, in Israel, in Serbia, in Poland, in South Africa, and we're opening many more. So there are different formats to this funding. It's not a startup funding per se, it's more kind of KPI driven, but there is a funding component to that. But you want to learn more, this is kind of more complicated business model. It's not just like I need 100,000, so get it. It's more complicated, but there is a lot of material on our website and with our publishing managers, and this is more specific to how hyper casual behaves.
Thank you very much. That's a very interesting topic, and it's a pleasure to discuss it with you. Thank you for your presentation. We have to move forward, and well, I hope to see you at the next summit as well.
In Hamburg.
In Hamburg, of course. Have a nice day, Sagi.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.